Welcome to my $100,000 stock experiment, year 3, week 2, ending April 24th, 2020. This isn't an endorsement to purchase any stocks that I bought, nor an endorsement to purchase stocks in general. I'm on a mission to become a great growth stock investor. Watch me on my journey, learn from my mistakes, and celebrate my successes. According to investors.com, the market is in an uptrend. Looking at the S&P 500 for the last few weeks, we're basically going sideways. We're at that line that I put there, February 27, 2019, that blue line. Sometimes above, sometimes below, but not getting very far. I added that dotted green line this week because I thought that it had also shown a point of support and resistance. I want to make sure this index doesn't fall below that. The volatility index, the VIX, is also still crazy high at 3593. That's where it closed the week at. But it is the lowest point that it's been in 7 weeks, since March 5th. When I'm buying a stock, my most important rule is to set my stop limit order at an 8% loss as my floor. Every time I buy a stock, I do this. I bought Costco on Monday when it looked like the stock was making a move. The green line and the orange box is where I purchased the stock, and then the 8% floor is that yellow line. When I look at the 6-month chart, I'm like, why did I buy this stock? It's basically been going sideways for 6 months. But the 1-year chart looks a little bit better. Fortinet, I purchased this stock late last week, and then on Tuesday I got kicked out with my 8% loss. There was a huge drop down. Stock symbol PODD, Insulet Corporation. I made this stock purchase this week also. It's down 2% since I purchased it, but it hasn't reached that floor, that yellow line, my 8% loss. Chipotle Mexican Group. I bought this on Thursday after a big gap up in volume on Wednesday. The stock didn't make further progress, but it did hold the gap up. Thursday, it didn't drop below the gap up price, and on Friday, it still held above that price also. I'm down about 2% in this stock. I like to look at stocks for a B2 or a B3 purchase if they've been proving themselves and moving up. On Monday, I added to Now. On Tuesday, it hit an 8% loss. I lost $483 because my purchase here wasn't a $10,000 purchase. My B2 purchase is a $6,000 purchase. I did go ahead and leave my floor at my 8%. I didn't really see a good point to move it up to. Alibaba, I added to this stock as well, and then it continued to go down after my purchase. So my B1 is up approximately 9%, and my B2 is down about 5%. And I did move my B1 floor up about $1 to the 200-day simple moving average, 190.85. I review the charts of all the stocks that I own every week, and I look for points to raise the floor up to. Microsoft. I was able to raise the floor up on this to the 50-day simple moving average, 162.83. I also have 2 buys in this stock. My B1 has about a 4% gain, and my B2 has a 2% loss. DocuSign. This stock is moving up nicely. I was able to raise my floor up to that 16-day simple moving average. I'm still below the purchase price, but I've only held this stock for about 2 weeks. Insight Corporation. This is another stock that's making really nice progress. I was able to raise my floor to that 16-day simple moving average. I probably could have moved it up to the 8-day simple moving average, but I didn't want to get stopped out. This stock is up 6% in 6 days. Apple. This stock is still moving sideways. It's not really making any progress up, and I didn't see a good point to move my floor up to, so I left the floor at this one at 8%. Another important rule is to not let a double-digit gain turn into a loss. AMD, I was able to move my floor up on my B1 above my purchase price. So if this stock triggers a sell, I won't have a loss on my B1. I made a B2 on the 17th and a B3 on April 20th, and I got kicked out of my B2 and my B3 on April 21st when there was that big drop down. Up at number 1, you can see where I made my B2 and my B3 purchase. That short red bar is where I made my B2. That was on Friday. And then the tall green bar is where I made my B3. And then the super long red bar is where I got kicked out of both of them. Here's a summary of my purchases this week. AMD, I have that in red because that sold, and I have the purchase price in yellow. That's showing you that it was my B3. Now also in red shows that I had a B2 in green. So those two I don't have anymore, but I still have Baba, CMG, Costco, and Pod of my new purchases. My benchmark shows that I was down just about $3,000 for the week. The S&P 500 also went down, but not as much as mine. So after 2 years and 2 weeks, my $100,000 has grown to $144,970, and the S&P 500 for the same time period has grown to $106,793. The biggest portion of my loss came from my new purchases. I lost about $1,600 from stocks that I purchased in this week. And then 2 stocks I bought last week and sold this week, I lost $1,400. The 3 stocks that I sold were my B2 and my B3 in AMD, plus Fortinet and my B2 in Now. Those sold stocks accounted for $2,000 in losses. Let's take a look at my current holding bar chart. Apple over on the left-hand side is my loser stock, and I've held it 2 weeks. AMD, I have 3 bars in, so I've held it for 3 weeks, and it's down slightly from the week before. Alibaba, this is the stock that I've held the longest for 4 weeks. It's down slightly from last week, but still has a nice gain. DocuSign in the orange is up nicely, as is INCY. Microsoft in the green is down slightly from last week, and now I've held it for 2 weeks. It's up a little bit, but not much. The weekly change for the S&P 500 at number 1, and then down below in the purple, is down 1.3%, and over at number 3, compared to the Melissa method, it's down 1.9%. For the year, the S&P 500 in column 2 is up 1.7%, and in column 4, the Melissa method is up 0.2%. I'm struggling in this market to make any money. I also look at the weekly change percentage for each stock, and the 2 that are highlighted in red, Alibaba and Microsoft, those lost more than the S&P 500 for the week. AMD, even though it was down, it didn't lose as much as the S&P 500. And DocuSign was the best performer this week, up 4.7%. My current dollar gains for the stocks that I own show that my grand total, I'm going up, so I have more gains than I had last week in the stocks that I still own. My one loser stock is Apple. I have just over $29,000 that I can spend in the market this week if I want to make some new purchases or some add-on buys. I am going to be reviewing my charts like I always do, looking for stocks with price advance with volume, and also ones that are in the top sector and high ranking within that sector. Some of the stocks that I like, you can take a look and see what you think about these stocks. DocuSign, I might make a B2. I also like Adobe, Amgen, and Switch. Thanks for watching. Keep an eye out for my next episode, or better yet, subscribe to my channel, The Melissa Method. Don't forget to hit the bell if you want an alert when I post a new episode.